Hey, welcome back to another new session. Basically, this video is based on how can you improve your English conversation with ChatGPT. So let's get into the video. Normally, you can ask any question to ChatGPT, but you need to ask effective question. My first question is, what are the basic conditions to speak in English? They suggest me to speak English effectively. There are some basic conditions and considerations you might want to keep in mind. Number one, vocabulary knowledge. I always said simple and normal vocabulary is enough to start in new language. Then, grammar skills. Actually, basic grammar is important for any new sentence structure, and they said understand basic grammar rules. Proper grammar ensures that your sentences are clear and easy to understand. So if we want to understand in English conversation, we need to learn basic grammar. Then listening skills, which is also important. Then pronunciation practice. Actually, we should focus on our pronunciation practice after building our fluency level. Okay. Next, have some important points and which are regular practice. Actually, I always say regular practice is important for any kinds of new language. Then reading skills, it's also important. Then flexibility and adaptability, it's depend on our culture, our global areas. Then and at last they said remember that language learning is gradual process and everyone progresses at their own pace. Be patient, stay motivated, and enjoy the journey of becoming proficient in spoken English. These are the preconditions to learn this language. My next question is, what kind of words the native speakers used most of the time? Number one, common words, we all know this. Then colloquial expression. Informal and colloquial expressions, for example, gonna for going to, wanna for want to, kinda for kind of, and shorter for short of. They're commonly used in their casual conversation. Next, contraction, slang, idiomatic expression, then adjective and adverbs. Actually, adjective and adverbs is mostly use words in our conversation. Amazing, awesome, really, always, very. Next, filler words, phrasal verbs, interjections, technical vocabulary, all is important for learning a new language. Actually, new language is depend on your motive, depend on your own desire. So you have to research on this. Next, practice regularly, expand vocabulary, then listen actively. When you are want to listening any podcast English videos or English any conversation, you have to listen it very practically. If you take it very naturally, and then you can understand English, you can focus on your main motive or you want to gain in your future about your learning language. Okay, so read widely. When you read any books, articles, newspapers in English, this improves your understanding of different styles, enhances vocabulary, and exposes you to diverse topics. Then use language learning apps, and I already said in my last videos, learning apps is how important. And then record yourself, it's also important. You judge yourself personally. Number 10, practice pronunciation. Focus on improving your pronunciation. Use online resources, then language apps, or work with language tutor to refine your pronunciation skills. Okay, be patient and be persistent. Language learning is gradual process. I always said you never ever success in a day. It takes time. Okay, use everyday English. Always try to focus on your daily English language. Okay, daily English words, which is important for your daily conversation. Then think in English. To try to think in English rather than translating your native language. Okay, at last they said remember that effective communication involves not just vocabulary and grammar, but also the ability to understand context, use appropriate expressions, and engage in meaningful dialogue. Keep practicing, stay open to learning, and enjoy the process of becoming more proficient in English conversation. I think you notice they recommended a significant amount of points and which is precondition for learning English language. So we have to focus on those kind of topic, and you can search it in your ChatGPT. How can you improve your English language? How can you practice daily? This is all about my today's lesson. I try to inform you how important ChatGPT and how can we improve our English conversation by using ChatGPT. So that's all. Allah Hafiz.